hips back. Go and walk those hands on out. Once you get to that plank position, I actually want you to drop the hips, breathe. If this is the first thing you're doing today, be nice to the body. Don't go too extreme on these moves. Back to that plank position. Walk those hands on back for me. Nice strong hinge. We have 3 reps. 2 more to go. Walking those hands out. Once you get to that plank position, drop those hips. Breathe. Little up dog. And back to plank. Walk those hands on back. Stand nice and tall. Brace that belly again for me. Actively drive those hips back. Walking those hands on back out. Drop the hips. Breathe. Hips come back to plank. Walk those hands on back. Excellent. Let's stay nice and tall. All right, let's get those feet underneath the hips for me. I want you to take that right hand to the sky. Your toes are going to point off to the left. All right, about 45 degrees to the left. You're looking at that right hand. You're going to reach for the inside of that left ankle with your left hand as your eyes stay on that right hand, and then stay back nice and tall. Give me 2 more just like that. We're pushing our right hip over or out to the side, working that strong windmill. If you've never done this before, only reach as far as you need to feel some challenge of the body. Back up. Let's go and switch. Feet go off to the right, left hand to the sky. Eyes stay on that left hand. You're going to reach for the inside of that right ankle with that right hand. Nice strong windmill. Back up nice and tall. Give me 2 more. Nice strong hinge. Back and tall. Nice strong hinge. Back and tall. So if you just joined, I did throw out an invitation earlier if you want to grab something lightweight, you can a water bottle or canned goods to grab onto. That movement we just did, that windmill, is where that weight's going to play into, taking that weight overhead. You don't need a lot of weight with that, especially if you've never done a windmill before. All right, we are going to work that today's workout. All right, so we're going to get rolling. We got 5 main movements to work through today. You kind of just did portions of them in our warm-up, so you're a little bit primed. We're going to work for 45 seconds today. We're going to have 50 seconds quick recovery, so our recovery time is pretty short today. So on that note, get to my little cheat sheet. We got 3 rounds of work to get through, so this first round is just figuring things out. So if you get a little frustrated on a move, I promise you'll have it by the end. Let's find a squat position for me, please. All right, point those hips on down. We're going to take those hands to the ground. All right, we're going to walk the feet back, drop the hips to up dog. Back to plank, walk the feet forward, stand tall. Pull down to squat, hands come down, walk the feet back, drop the hips. Back to plank, walk the feet forward, stand tall. So how can we make this more challenging? You can kick both feet back, both feet forward. You're still throwing in that nice strong up dog, holding that position for as long as you need before coming all the way back to that standing position. Yes, this is similar to a burpee, but we're going to have a little bit more control today. In that walk that we did on that first round, relax. That walking of the feet is your option if that feet forward, jumping back and forth is a little too much. All right? So we're going to go back to our windmill. Let's take our right hand to the sky. Toes go off to the left. Eyes are on that right hand. Pushing the hip off to the side. Back nice and tall. Keep this one slow and controlled for me. Eyes stay on that right hand. You're reaching for the inside of that left ankle. You don't need to see the screen right now if you see me do a rep. You only care about looking at that right hand. That's what's going to make sure that you're staying stacked. Your spine's where it needs to be. So this is still our first round. I haven't mentioned anything about weights yet for a reason. At least I haven't incorporated them yet. If you've already grabbed a weight for this one, good for you. You can stay with that and relax. But any of those still kind of waiting for that cue. We'll get to that round 2 and 3. All right. Feet underneath the hips. Let's turn those toes to the right. Left hand to the sky. Eyes stay on that left hand. Let's go and drive that left hip over to the left as we reach for the inside of that right ankle. And spend enough time in that bottom position to feel the stretch through the groin, through the obliques, through the hips. Now I want you to start thinking about that exhale as you stand. Breathing in on the way down, exhaling as you stand up. Take your time with this movement. Pushing those hips off to the left. Nice strong load through the torso, through the trunk, through the groin, through the thighs, through the hips. Love the windmill. Last rep here. And relax. All right, we're going to take it down to the ground. All right, so we're going to start with a child's pose, but we're going to ruin everything about a child's pose. All right, we're going to make it a little more intense. Let's go and sit those hips on back. All right, follow me on this one. You're going to start bringing that body forward. Your forearms are going to drop. Then you're going to come to those hands. Knees stay down. Press up in that push-up. Pull down. Sit back to that child's pose. Back to that push-up on the knees. Drive up. Back down. Sit back. All right, if you're already thinking, Chris, it's a little too easy for me. Get off those knees. Give me a full push-up. And then sit back into that child's pose again. Staying low in that transition from push-up position to child's pose. We're strong from top of your head, through your heels. Last rep here. And relax. Again, on the toes was a little much. Stay on those knees. There's a reason I showed that one first, much like walking those feet forward in that first movement we did earlier. All right, this one becomes a little bit easier. We're just going with a big reverse lunge. When you step back to that exaggerated reverse lunge, I want you to tap outside of feet, back up. Tap outside of feet, back up. I'm going to give you a moderate pace to work through on this one, but if you need to spend a little bit more time in that bottom position, trying to get those hands to the outside of the feet, you spend more time there. If you can't quite reach the ground, that's fine. But I want you to try to challenge yourself with some depth here. Really going with that exaggerated lunge. Opening up the hip. It's going to make life easier as we get to round two. Thinking about that exhale as you drive through that heel. And relax. So that's round one. Our goal here is to make everything a little bit more intense today. It's not just about mobility today. We're going to go back to that squat to sprawl to up dog. I'm going to show you the version A first. Let's find our squat position. We're going to pull one down into that squat. Hands come down. Walk the feet back. Drop the hips. Plank. Walk the feet forward. Stand. If you're itching to make it more challenging, you're light on the feet. Spending a little bit of time, spending that breath in that up dog position. But again, we have that option with going that squat, walking the feet back, drop the hips, walk the feet forward, standing up. Again, if you want to get a little bit more intensity today, as we open up that front line, go with those light feet, go with those jumps, and relax. All right, so we're going to our second round. We're going back to our windmill. If you have that light dumbbell, that bottle of water, take it into your right hand, or just take your right hand in the sky. Toes go to the left. Eyes are on that right hand. We're reaching for the inside of that left ankle. If today is your first day ever doing a windmill, I'd recommend not having anything overhead for right now. Okay, just work the movement. We're pushing that right hip towards the back corner of your room. We're working that exhale. As we stand, our eyes stay on that high hand, that right hand. We're using our left hand as a guide to feel our way down towards the inside of that left ankle. We're getting comfortable in this movement now. We've opened up that lateral line a little bit. Our hips are a little more mobile than that first round. And relax. All right, if you have that weight, take it on into that left hand. You have that bottle of water, whatever you may have. Take a quick breath for me. All right, let's go and get that left hand in the sky. Toes go to the right. They are parallel. They're pointing the same direction. Using that right hand to reach to the inside of that right ankle. Working that exhale as you stand. Every time you get up top, you pull that rib cage down. You load up that strong belly. We have intention throughout this entire range of motion. Enjoy this nice stretch. Okay, don't go to where you're uncomfortable. Don't go where you feel pain. I want you to challenge your range of motion. But I don't want you to feel pain anywhere in the body as you work through this. And last rep. Good, relax. All right, so we're going back to ruining the child's pose. We're going back to a crouching tiger push-up. All right, so we're going to sit back in that child's pose first. I'm going to show you knee push-ups to begin with. All right, we're going to rock the body forward, coming onto those knees, push-up position, pulling down, rocking body back. If you want to go to the toes, you transition to the toes as you transition out of that child pose position, staying as low to the ground as possible, almost like you're skimming the floor. "15 seconds left. Stay as low as you can. Grip those hands into the floor. Grip those fingertips into the floor. And relax. All right, so we're getting into our 10th round. We're going to that reverse lunge coming up. Let me make sure my audio is not kept now. Yes. Front leg on the windows. Quick question here. Front leg goes bent, back leg stays straight. I hope that answers your question. We're going to go into that reverse lunge position. Sorry, getting confused with one I did earlier today. Touch it outside of that front foot. And I'll dive into that window and answer a little bit more later on. But yes, that leg that you're reaching for stays a little bent. That front leg or that back leg is ultimately straight, not locked out. We never want to have a locked out joint when it's loaded. Being straight is one thing, being locked out is another. Trying to touch outside of that front foot in this alternating reverse lunge. And relax. All right. We're into our third and final round. You know the movements. We can continue to up the intensity. I'm going to continue to show the option A first, and then up it as we get to each one. So let's find our squat position. Point on down. Hands come down. Walk the feet back. Drop the hips. Walk the feet forward. Stand tall. If you want a little more, hands come down. Jump back. Drop the hips. Back to that standing position. What I want you to feel in this last round is your exhales whenever you need them. So wherever there's tension, you should be forcing those little breaths out. So it's not just one breath per rep. I've got about 4 going on per rep. Last rep, if you're with me. Excellent, relax. All right, going back to that windmill. If you have that weight, you have that dumbbell, if you got a kettlebell, grab it. If you want to challenge yourself, drive it overhead, toes go to the left, eyes are on that right hand, and we're pressing those hips back. I'm trying to get a little bit of a different angle. You might see that back leg does stay straight. Front leg's got a nice little soft bend in it. The angles of the recording or of the camera, and in fact, they wear all black, so it's hard to see when there's a bend or where it's straight. You ultimately keep your eyes on that right hand, and hopefully you found a new range of motion. Maybe in that first round you're reaching for knee, and relax. Maybe this last round you're touching floor. Yeah? So go where you can control it. All right. So last time set up for that windmill, so I'm going to imagine you got a 50-pound kettlebell over your hand. Drive that left arm up. Get that bicep to your ear. Toes go to the right. Eyes are on that left hand. And we're going to keep that tension in the body. Like we have that 50-pound kettlebell over top of our head. Left hand always stays over top of the body. If it went forward or if it went back or side to side, you would not be able to stabilize that 50-pound kettlebell. That's why we keep those eyes on and make sure that straight line over your center mass. 10 more seconds. And once you get done with that rep, relax. Done with windmills, at least with me. If you like that movement, happy to throw that extra round on your own time. All right, let's get back down to the floor. We'll start off in that child's pose, sitting those hips on back. Once you're ready, transitioning, knees on the ground, pressing up, pulling down, sitting back, or take knees off the ground, transition to that push-up, pulling down, pulling hips back. So much like in that sprawl we did on that first movement where I talked about a lot of breath. Same goes with this movement. There is not just one breath per rep. Wherever you feel a transition, wherever you feel yourself having to create force, you exhale. Do one last good rep, and let's make our way back up. All right, we're going to finish off with that reverse lunge, touching outside of that front foot to really go with that exaggerated lunge. So it is a huge step back. It's really more about a hip opener. All right, let's go with that big step, touching outside the foot, back up. So these classes are more than just trying to get y'all sore. Hopefully you walk away learning something. So typically in a lunge, we like to see that back knee stay underneath the hip in a strong lunge. If we're producing force, if we're producing strength. Okay, today we're challenging a little bit more mobility, trying to increase some stability in that bottom position. So we're going exaggerated. So I'm hoping those hips are starting to feel a little more jelly compared to that first round. Maybe we're able to find the floor a little bit easier. Give me one more rep. And relax. All right. Do a nice breather. Let the heart rate come down. Let your body know it's not in trouble. We're getting a nice stretch here in a moment. Then, as you work through some of these classes throughout the week, if you have any light dumbbells, any light kettlebells, I'll sneak those in every once in a while. Even a big water bottle can do the trick on a lot of the movements we do in this style of class. But if you are challenging these extreme in ranges, trying to get a little uncomfortable outside of our typical linear directions. All right, let's go and come to seated position. Let's just rock those legs back and forth. So you might recognize this, just from back of the hair. We'll alternate shin box, just to get the hips a little loosened back up. All right, let's come back to center. Drop those knees off to the left, coming onto that left forearm. Let's reach overhead. Walk that right hand away from the body. Knees are pressed into the ground. You're on that left forearm. Use your breath. A big inhale. That deep exhale. To help get that trunk to loosen up. I hate to rush you out of this stretch. I'd love to spend a lot more time here. For time's sake, we're going to slide that right hand in, bringing those knees back to center, and then dropping them off to the right, coming onto that right forearm, walking that left hand overhead, walking it away from the body. The goal is not to feel pain. And using that breath, that big inhale through the nose. Strong exhale out of the mouth. If you're very happy in the position that you're in, you're more than welcome to stay there as long as you like, and you can double back and work that other side a little bit longer. All right, that wraps it.